Doing own voice over soft music. Mr. John, he shouted, but no use. Jungkook furiously walked out of the doctor's cabin with a broken soul, ignoring the doctor's loud scream, who was also following Jungkook, more like running behind Jungkook, so as to complete his conversation with Jungkook. He left. He said after noticing Jungkook drive off the hospital in full speed. Now I have only one way. Saying this, he took his phone and called someone. Vine was standing in the balcony waiting for Jungkook. I think his mission is taking too long time, she said to herself as she was now standing here from a long time. She took a deep breath and again leaned into the railing waiting for Jungkook while looking at the gate entrance. Soon she saw Jungkook's car coming inside the mansion gate and a wide smile appeared on her lips and she immediately rushed downstairs to see Jungkook. Wine reached the living room just to see Jungkook also walking into the living room, all lost in his thought, totally unaware of his surrounding. Cook, she called him, gaining his attention, and Jungkook came to reality and saw his girlfriend, whom he loves very much, standing with a smile on her lips, which made Jungkook's all worry, tiredness, and sadness flew away. A sweet smile appeared on Jungkook's lips, and Jungkook opened his arms wide, making Vine understand what he wants. So she ran to him and jumped onto him, circling her arms around his neck and hiding her face in his neck. And Jungkook too tightly hugged Vine back by wrapping his both arms around her and hiding his face in her hair, inhaling a sweet fragrance which made his heart calm. Wine pulled back from hug and are you fine? Did you got hurt anywhere? How was your mission? She asked him non-stop and started checking him out from head to toe just to see if he is not hurt. I'm fine, babe, and the mission was successful, he said and peeked Wine's forehead just to assure her because worry was clearly visible on her face. Thank God you are fine. She peeked Jungkook's lip, but Jungkook pulled Wine into him and her passionately, which Wine happily replied. Did you eat? He asked Wine, who was taking long breath. No, I was waiting for you. I will take a quick shower and then we will eat. Wine nodded her head and Jungkook lastly peeked her forehead and left to freshen up. Meanwhile, Wine left to heat the food. Jungkook and Wine were having food, but Jungkook was admiring Wine, who was eating as if she haven't ate for a week. Babe, if you were this hungry, then you should have eat before. I wanted to eat with you, she said while still munching her food, making Jungkook smile seeing all the food messed up near her lips. So he took a napkin from table. From next time, don't wait for me. You eat when you get hungry, he said while wiping Wine's lips. No, I will wait for you, she stubbornly said, making Jungkook sign. So will you starve yourself if I will leave you someday? He said, Wine, making Wine all numb on her seat, and she paused chewing the food and looked at Jungkook with a confused face. What do you mean, cook? Nothing, babe. I was just saying that you should always eat on time and don't wait for me. He corrected himself. Oh, okay, then from next time I will eat on time, she said, and Jungkook smiled at Wine. Good, now eat it before it's cold. Wine again started eating, and Jungkook just kept watching her eating while his loving eyes and occasionally taking small bite of his food as he wasn't hungry but just agreed to eat with Wine. Wine was peacefully sleeping in Jungkook's embrace, hugging him tightly, but Jungkook was just admiring Wine without his knowing. His eyes got teary while remembering what happened today. Jungkook was working with full concentration on file, but suddenly, my head. He grabbed his head with both hands, not being able to take the pain medicine. He immediately started searching his drawer to get a tablet for headache but didn't find any. So he took his phone and called his secretary. Jungkook called, baby, do you have any headache tablet? Cook, you have headache? She worriedly asked Jungkook. Baby, don't worry, it's just pure stress, he assured her, but I'm coming to you, Cook. The call disconnected. I shouldn't have told her. Soon his office door opened and he saw Wine walking towards him, Will, taking long breaths, so he got up from his seat and walked towards Wine. Baby, you run over here. Are you mad or what? How can you run with his heels on, that too on the marble floor? What if you slipped and fall? He scolded Wine, but you okay? Is it paining too much? Come, let's go to hospital, she said, ignoring him scolding. Babe, it's just a little headache. I usually get headache. Wine wide eyes what? But you never mentioned it to me before. Jungkook signed. First be calm and come here, said he. Hold Wine's wrist and moved towards the coach and both sat comfortably. It's just a small headache, babe, and it's cure after I take the headache medicine. But today there is no medicine. That's why I asked you. Wine released her breath after hearing Jungkook that it's nothing serious. I don't have headache medicine, Cook. Wait, I will go to the pharmacy and buy it. Give me the prescription of doctor, she asked Jungkook, thinking that Jungkook might have consulted doctor. That's why he is taking headache medicine. But little did she know Jungkook never consulted doctor and just having medicine from pharmacy. Babe, I think a coffee will work. Just make me a hot coffee, he said to Wine as he again doesn't wanted to make Wine worry by saying that he never consulted the doctor. You sure? She asked, being concerned for him. Yeah, he gave a forehead to her. Vine smiled. I will back quick. Till then, just take rest, okay? Jungkook nodded his head and shook Jungkook's forehead and walked outside to bring coffee. How is it good? More bitter? She asked Jungkook after giving him the coffee, and Jungkook took a sip of the coffee, which helped him a little with his headache. No, babe, it's good, and now I'm feeling little good. Then finish the coffee before it gets cold. Jungkook nodded his head and drank it. Good boy. Now come, let's take a nap for a little time. After that, you will be fine, she said to Jungkook. But babe, I'm not sleepy. I have lots of work to. But before he can complete, Wine yawning. I'm so sleepy. Is my babe tired? Wine just cutely nodded her head. Come, I will put you on bed. Saying this, he carried Wine in bridal style and walked towards the personal room. Cook, I can walk. You're not well, she said while struggling to get out from his hold. But I still have energy to carry you, Mrs. John, he said to Wine, making Wine shut her mouth because she was blushing as he called her by his last name, and Jungkook shrimped, seeing Wine blushing. Jungkook laid Wine on bed and covered her with blanket and peeked her forehead. Sleep well. Saying this, he got up from bed, but Wine held his wrist, making Jungkook look at Wine with confused face. Need anything? You know now I can't sleep without your cuddle, she said while cutely pointing, making Jungkook chuckle. I'm sorry, babe, I forget it. Wait, I'm coming. Saying this, he removed his blazer tie, unbuttoned the first three buttons, and lastly, he removed his shoes too, and get into the blanket and made Wine lay on his and hugged her tightly. Sleep fast, baby, he said, and Wine looked down at his just to see Wine has already closed her eyes, and her hand sneaked into his shirt, and she placed it right above his just to feel his heartbeat, which is beating calmly. And Jungkook held Wine's hand over his shirt, and both smiled, and lastly, Jungkook closed his eyes. Wine slowly opened her eyes after she heard Jungkook's soft snoring, and she slowly, without disturbing Jungkook's sleep, placed her chin on his and kept admiring his sleeping face. You really needed a good sleep. Sleep well, baby. I love you so much. She his jawline and snuggled more into him, feeling his warmth, which made her sleep too. Wine opened her eyes when she heard a loud scream. What's that? She still her eyes closed and then stretched her hands over her left side just to feel empty, so she immediately opened her eyes. Wine frowned. What's that, Cook's voice? She removed the blanket and put on her heels and walked out of the room just to see Jungkook talking on phone. What the mark? How can you be this irresponsible? I'm coming. Saying this, he cut the call and turned around to go to Wine, so he has to wake her up. But he saw her standing near the doorframe with a confused face. You up? Babe, good. I was about to wake you up. He approached Van and fixed her hair a little as she just woke up. What happened? Cook, you seems to be angry. Jungkook said, nothing, babe. There's a problem. My enemy steals more important during shipment, so now I have to deal with them. But Cook, your headache. I'm fine, babe. And also, you go home. I will ask one of the bodyguard to drop you. Wine just nodded her head. Be safe, Cook. Jungkook smiled at Wine and pulled her into her without answering her question because he himself isn't sure what about that because it's mafia work, and Wine him back internally praying that Jungkook should return fit and fine as every other time. Jungkook won the mission and now he was on the way back to home. But again, suddenly his headache. He nodded in pain, making Mark concerned. Sir, you okay? Mark just took me to John Hospital. He said as now the pain was getting more and also there was no pharmacy open during that time. Okay, sir. Doctor had wide eyes after reading the medical test reports of Jungkook, which Jungkook did a few hours before, as per doctor's suggestion. Is anything wrong, uncle? He asked his family doctor and also his dad's best friend after noticing his worried face. Jungkook, you have brain tumor. Jungkook's eyes wide open to what? He asked the doctor again, thinking he heard something wrong. Doctor's son, you have brain cancer. His voice was low but loud enough for Jungkook to hear. Jungkook's whole body got numb and Vine's face came into his mind, so he harshly got up from the chair, resulting the chair to fall backward, and he walked outside the cabin and Doctor too got up from chair and followed him while shouting his name. Mr. John, he shouted, maintaining a professional relationship before other hospital staff, but no use. Jungkook furiously walked out of the hospital as he wasn't in the mood to listen anything. Get in the car, getting Mark's attention. Are you okay, sir? What the doctor said. He asked Jungkook totally unaware. Just drive fast. I want to see my wine right now. He shouted on Mark and Mark immediately drive fast. Jungkook's eyes were shedding tears and Jungkook was totally unaware that he was crying because he was admiring wine. Jungkook whispered, I don't want to leave you. I want to live a long life with you. Wanted to propose you. Wanted to marry you. Wanted to see my kids in your womb. Wanted to see my kids growing. I wanted to grow old with you, but no, he stopped and hugged Vine tightly, making sure she doesn't wake up. I'm sorry, babe, I can't complete our dreams, which we both dreamed together. More drops of tear left his eyes, and he hugged Vine a little bit more tightly, as if he doesn't want it to leave her. Vine slowly opened her eyes, and a wide smile appeared on her lips after seeing Jungkook sleeping so peacefully and hugging her so tightly that she is almost invisible in his hold. My bunny, she said, and peeked his whole face. I love you so much. She pleeked her lips on his and gave a long peek to him before slowly getting out from his hole. Jungkook doesn't know when he slept, but now he opened his eyes after not getting his loves warm. Baby, he called her, hoping she is in bathroom, but got no response, and he doesn't know why an unknown fear rushed in him, so he immediately got up from bed and walked out the room furiously. Jungkook came downstairs but didn't find wine in living room, but soon he heard noises of vessels from kitchen, so he walked towards the kitchen. A small smile appeared on his lips after he saw Wine, so focused on cooking. So he walked towards her and back hugged her, making Wine flinch a little because it was unexpected. Oh God, Cook, you startled me, she said after recognizing it's Jungkook. Please never go away from my side, not until my last breath. He said to Wine, totally forgetting everything as his hold on Wine's got more tighter and he hid his face in her neck, but Wine's heart ached hearing his word. Cook, what are you saying? What do you mean that not until my last breath? She forcefully removed Jungkook's hand from her and turned around to face Jungkook, who was now looking everywhere but avoiding Wine's stares on one whole Jungkook's shake and made him look at her. Is anything bothering you from yesterday night? I'm noticing you. You are saying some weird things like leaving me last breath. She asked him with a sad face which made Jungkook's heart ache. No, babe, nothing is bothering me. You sure? Yeah, babe, what's you cooking? He asked to divert Wine's mind. Your favorite. Jungkook smiled. I love you, baby. Hugged and Wine and her top of head. I love you more, Cook. She too hugged him back tightly. Will you drive a little fast? He asked his driver to drive fast as each passing second the thing he heard yesterday night from his best friend was roaming inside his ear, making him feel suffocation, and right now he wanted to see his son. Yesterday, after Jungkook left, now I have only one way. Saying this, he took his phone and called someone, and the person immediately picked up the call. John, where are you right now? I wanted to talk to you. He said, being getting impatient. I'm at States Choi. Got an important work, doctor called. How can I say it to you? He said, making Jungkook's dad confused. What happened, Choi? Is anything serious in hospital? John listened Jungkook. He told everything, but he didn't got any response from Jungkook's side as Jungkook's dad whole body got numb. John, you listening? Jungkook, the call cut before the doctor can complete. Jungkook's dad the next moment took the plane and came back to Seoul. Jungkook's dad furiously walked into the office with his red, swollen eyes, and soon Vine's eyes fall on him. Appa, she happily ran to him and hugged him, and by seeing Vine's happy face, he understood that Jungkook didn't tell anything to Vine. Is my daughter doing good? He asked Wine, and Wine pulled back from her. Yes, Appa, and you were supposed to come next week. I just finished my work there, so I came back. He lied to Wine, and Wine just nodded her head, and then she saw his red swollen eyes. Appa, your eyes, did you cry? She asked him, taking him off guard. You gone to Oma, right? She cutted him off, and Jungkook's dad immediately nodded his head. Yeah, princess, I will go and see Jungkook. I have discuss something very important with him, and also please don't let anyone come inside his office because we want some privacy. He said to Van and just nodded her head, and Jungkook's dad walked off to Jungkook's cabin. Jungkook was lovingly looking at Vine's pic over his desk, but he came to reality when his phone rang and he looked to see this doctor, so he took the call. Jungkook, you should start your treatment. Jungkook call, I'm coming to see you. Doctor call, okay, come fast. The doctor call cut. Jungkook put the phone aside and at the same time his office door opened. Appa, you here? He got up from his chair and approached his dad, who just locked the door. Jungkook stood in front of his dad and at the same time he noticed his dad's swollen eyes, so he got it. Uncle Choi told you, right? Yes, he coldly said, but his eyes were filled with tears. Appa, he painfully called his dad, but his dad busted out, hearing his son calling him Appa with a painful voice, making Jungkook's eyes teary too. Come, let's go to hospital and find a way to cure you. Jungkook just nodded his head, and Jungkook's dad walked out of the room. Baby, he called Vine as she was busy with some work, and Vine looked up from file. Cook, you going anywhere? She walked to him. Yeah, I'm going out with Appa, but I will be back soon, okay? But lunch I will have on my way, and you two have lunch, okay? Be quick. I will miss you. She hugged Jungkook without knowing that Jungkook was silently crying. I will miss you more. He peeked her forehead and walked off before Vine noticed. First, we have to do the operation and remove the tumor, then start with your chemo. The doctor suggested, but Jungkook's heart was saying that the operation won't be successful. Isn't there any other treatment? The doctor noticed Jungkook's pale face. No, there is only treatment, the doctor said, but Jungkook wasn't having a good feeling with operation. Jungkook, let's go with operation, he suggested him, but Appa, don't you remember Oma after operation? What if I do? He didn't complete his sentence, but Jungkook, your Oma's operation was successful, but as she was a heart patient, her body was weak, therefore her body wasn't able to take the pain of chemotherapy. That's why she. Jungkook signed, but somewhere in his heart he was still unsure. So I need to think about it. But Jungkook But Jungkook, we need to remove it as early as possible, otherwise it will cause more harm to you. Jungkook-san, I have a little time thing to do before the operation. Appa, let's leave. He said and left the cabin, and his dad followed him. Where are we going? We are almost there, babe, he said, and Wine just looked outside the window to see a beach side, and her eyes sparkled. Are we here for date? She turned to Jungkook, who was already looking at her after parking the car. More than that, come, let's go. Saying this, he got out from the car and Wine to get out. Let's go. He held Wine's wrist and walked towards the beach. Wine was surprised to see the arrangement, so she turned around to ask Jungkook when he arranged all this, but she got more surprised seeing Jungkook on his knees with a ring on his hand. Wine surprised Cook. Jungkook smiled. Will you be mine, baby? He just simply said, and Wine's eyes turned teary. I'm always yours, Cook. Saying this, she forwarded her hands to Jungkook and he put the ring on her finger and got up. I love you, babe. Saying this, he hugged her and she too hugged him back. I love you too. Jungkook pulled back from hug and her forehead. One more thing is left, he said, making Wine confused, and then he took a paper from his coat pocket and gave it to Wine. Babe, sign it. What's that, Cook? She took the paper and opened it. It's our marriage paper, he said, making Wine's eyes wide open. I know you have a dream wedding, but this is my wish to marry you before I. Jungkook stopped as he realized what he is going to say, but Wine's next word made him happy. I will sign it. You complete my every wish, so I should also complete your wish. She gave a sweet smile to Jungkook and then took the pen from Jungkook and signed it near to Jungkook's sign. Jungkook smiled. Now you are mine, Mrs. John, he said, and pulled Wine to him and smashed his lips on her lovingly, which Wine happily replied back. Both reached home after a small date, and Cook, I can walk, she said to Jungkook as she carried her to the bedroom. Jungkook ignored her word and placed Wine on bed and kneeled down in front of her and cupped her cheeks, stretching it with his thumb. Baby, he called her in sweet yet a painful voice. Yes, Cook, can I to you? He asked Wine, and Wine's heart said that something is wrong because every time Jungkook says, and this time his word made an unknown fear rush in her body. Babe Wine came to reality and saw Jungkook already admiring her, so she got shy and just nodded her head, making Jungkook to place his lips on her. After their time, both were cuddling while Jungkook was playing with Wine's ear, which made Wine to slowly drift to sleep. I love you, babe, he said, but got no response from Wine, so he looked down to see Wine already slept. Jungkook smiled, looking at her cute face, and peeked her forehead, and he too closed his eyes to sleep. Wine woke up and saw Jungkook sleeping peacefully, so she kept admiring him. But then her eyes fall on wall clock just for her eyes to wide open, but because they got late. Oh God, Cook, wake up! We need to go to office. She called him, but Jungkook tightened his hold on Wine and snuggled more into her neck. Babe, we are on leave for 1 week, he said, making Wine surprised. Why? I just want to spend a little time with you, just you and me, he said, making Wine happy. Okay, then let's sleep more. Saying this, she hugged more and into him. Like this, more than a week passed. Jungkook made sure he spent a quality time with Wine before he leaves for operation, because somewhere his heart is saying that the operation won't be successful and he will. And also he's making sure that Wine should have a good time before he leaves her, as he know that Wine will be. After a passionate time, Jungkook was admiring Wine sleeping, which now became his habit. Thank you so much, baby, for completing my last wish. That is, I wanted to be your husband, and to you as husband and wife. And also, thank you for making me the happiest man in the world by giving me a best married life, even if it's just for him. He had a small smile on his lip, and lastly, he peeked Wine's forehead and slowly got up from bed, took his phone, and walked to balcony. Jungkook called, arrange the operation. I am ready for it. Okay, the operation will be tomorrow. And be cool, Jungkook. Nothing will happen to you. Jungkook just signed and cut the call. Jungkook looked up at sky while a drop of tear left his eyes, thinking about Wine's reaction. Baby, it's just a small mission. I will back soon. Cook, be safe. Like every time she said to Jungkook, but this time I'm not sure if I will come back to your arms. Jungkook's eyes filled with tears, which made an unknown fear rush inside Wine's body. Cook, nothing will happen to you. You will come back safe in my arms, she said to console Jungkook, and she herself placed her lips on her Jungkook, so he pulled Wine more into his embrace and one last time, and Wine replied back happily. I love you, babe, he said while putting his forehead on her. I love you more. And by one last peek, Jungkook pulled back from Wine and turned around to leave without facing Wine. Appa, let's go. His dad nodded his head. His eyes were teary too, but then he just had a last glance at Wine, who was watching them with a small smile. After Jungkook left, Wine placed her hand over her tummy, and a sweet smile appeared on her lips, and she looked down at her tummy. Baby, come, let's prepare a surprise for Appa before he comes back. She happily left to their room to prepare for Jungkook's surprise. Jungkook, be cool. Your blood pressure is high. Don't take tension. It will affect your body while doing operation. He said to Jungkook after checking his pressure, which was high, as he was taking tension for wine. I'm fine, he said and closed his eyes after seeing the nurse preparing the things for his operation. It's been more than an hour, and Jungkook's dad was walking here and there as Jungkook's operation was going on. But soon the door of the operation room opened, and Jungkook's dad immediately rushed to the doctor. Joy, how is my son? He is fine, right? The doctor had tears in his eyes, making Jungkook's dad understand everything. After preparing, Jungkook's surprise wine was waiting for him at the living room. But why I'm feeling something is going wrong with Cook? She placed her eyes and joined her hands. Be all right, Cook. Nothing will happen to you, and you will come back to me fit and fine. As every time she was praying for Jungkook, and then she heard the sound of cars, so she got up from coach and walked to the door, happily thinking it's Jungkook. But she saw Jungkook's dad walking inside all alone, making wine frown, and her heart ached, which she herself doesn't know why. Appa cook, she asked him, and he looked at Wine with red eyes, making Wine somewhere know that something is wrong. So she rushed to him. What happened to Cook? Her eyes started getting teary. Why, be listen to me. He said everything that Jungkook had a brain cancer, and today he went for operation. And no, she shouted, not believing what she heard. I want to see my cook right now. Saying this, she ran out of the house while crying badly. Wine, listen, he followed her. Wine reached the hospital, and right now she busted into the operation room, and what she saw made her heart ache. Jungkook lying on the bed with closed eyes. Wine approached him. Cook, wake up. Please, you can't leave me. Wake up. She was crying badly while holding Jungkook's palm, but then she felt a hand on her shoulder and she turned around to see Doctor tell me he is sleeping and will wake up soon. Doctor Sanya, he is sleeping, but I don't know when he will wake up. Wine frowned. What do you mean? Wine shuddered, making Doctor understand that Wine took it in other way. No, no, don't worry. I mean, he will wake up after the effect of medicine. Right now, he is unconscious. Wine stopped crying. That means he is alright. Yeah, but Appa, you run before I can complete the conversation. Wine looked at the door to see Jungkook's dad taking long breath as he ran to catch Wine. Joy, how is my son? He is fine, right? The doctor had tears in his eyes, making Jungkook's dad understand everything. Say something. Why are you crying? He shouted, but doctor's next word made his soul come back to his body. It was a successful operation. Jungkook's dad took a deep breath and he too cried in happiness. Thank you so much, Joy. He happily said to doctor. Hey, it's my duty. By the way, Jungkook said that he wants to see Wine first as he opened his eyes. He informed Jungkook's dad as Jungkook told this before the operation, and Jungkook's dad left to bring Wine. I was about to say that operation was successful and take you here, but you ran. I'm sorry, I just wasn't in my mind. But Appa, tell me everything. His dad told everything, and now Wine understand everything. Why he meant by leaving you and last breath, as he was thinking that what happened to his mom will happen to him too. Wine slowly came to his sense, but he didn't open his eyes. Right, the Wine baby, he called in a weak voice, and Wine was right next to him. So, yes, Cook, I'm here, she said, and took Jungkook's hand in his. And Jungkook slowly opened his eyes and saw Wine. Wine, Jungkook smiled. I love you, baby, he said, making Wine's eyes teary. Why you didn't told me about this earlier? I didn't wanted you to suffer with me, but see now I'm fine, so don't cry. I can't see you crying. I love you too, Cook. Then me, he said, and Wine slowly placed her lips on his. Both shared a passionate. Are you both done? The doctor said, making Wine and Jungkook to come back to reality, and both faced the doctor. Yeah, you can check him. Wine said with red cheeks and moved aside for the doctor to check Jungkook. After checking Jungkook, doctor suggested to add the chemo and take medicine and all, and thus after a 2 day stay at hospital, both came to house. I missed our house, baby, he said while inhaling his house fragrance. Cook, you go and take rest. I will make something to eat. Okay, he peeked Wine's forehead and walked to their bedroom and Wine to kitchen. Wine was searching for ingredients to cook, but baby Wine, Jungkook screamed from bedroom and making Wine worried for him, so he rushed to him thinking something happened to him. Entered the bedroom just to see him standing like a statue. Cook, you okay? She approached him and stood next to him and looked at his face just to see him staring at something. So Wine to follow her gaze just to see the surprise she made for him. She too forget it but now remember. So she smiled and leaned towards Jungkook's ears and whispered, Cook, you are going to be dad. She Jungkook's earlobe and back off, making Jungkook came to reality and he faced Wine. Jungkook surprised really. Wine nodded her head with red cheeks. When did you find it? At morning of the day you gone to your operation, but I wasn't knowing that it's your operation, so I prepared all this thinking I will surprise you, but I wasn't. But Wine's face turned sad, thinking the pain she gone through just in a day. With Jungkook understand, so he pulled Wine into her hug, but then to change them. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for giving me such a beautiful gift. He pulled back from hug and peeked Wine's forehead, making Wine smile. Jungkook kneeled down to her tummy and pulled up Wine's top and peeked her tummy, but then he looked up and Wine and said, I love you, babe. Wine smiled and I love you, May, the bride. Jungkook smashed his lips on Wine, which she happily replied back. Jungkook recovered from, and now he is healthy, so they had their dream wedding as they planned before. Both were each other's, totally forgetting everything, but then they have to broke the when they heard a baby crying, and both looked at the direction of baby just to see their 1-year-old baby boy crying in Wine's mom's arm after watching his parent making Wine and Jungkook to chuckle. The end. Thanks for watching. Bye.